Hello folks and welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 998 and the countdown continues to chapter 1000. This is the chapter I like to call One Piece crosses over with Jurassic Park because this is exactly what would happen if the two would cross over, because this was all about the Zoans from the Tobbi Robbo, the ancient Zoans, revealing the forms, some of them, not all of them, which I'll get into. But this chapter pretty much hypes up the Tobbi Robbo and confirms a couple of 1v1s that I thought about, and like the whole thing with Ulti and Nami, that's a lock. Sasaki and Frankie, that's a lock. And now, I guess Jinbei and Who's Who, that's a lock as well. So you can see the 1v1 shaping up with the Tobbi Robbo and the Straw Hats. Obviously, there's going to be a couple of the Straw Hats that don't face the Tobbi Robbo, namely Zoro and Sanji. And a lot of Sanji fans that did not like the last chapter because it made Sanji look bad. I said in that chapter that it didn't make a whole lot of sense because, number one, Sanji should have seen that shit coming, especially with his observation haki. He didn't. And he basically fell for the same trick he fell for back in Whole Cake Island with Pudding. Before then was in Dressrosa with Viola. Fell for that shit, so you'd think Sanji would learn, but no. So that was the issue I had. Start off with a cover page with Enel with another fan request. So Enel's on the cover page. He's not making his wife to Wano. This is just a Wano cover page. We don't get to see it all that often, so it's cool to see him. It's looked like he's just chilling out, listening to music. You can see the record player and the mouse in the suit. I'm guessing he's the conductor. So I don't know when Oda is going to have him make his grand return, but he's definitely out there somewhere. So there's been a lot of speculation on that. But we start off with Onigashima floating in the air due to the power of the Yonko in Kaido. And it's making its way to the Flower Capital. We know this now. I said it in my last review. It's a way of getting Onigashima and Kaido in plain view of the citizens that are in the Flower Capital. The citizens of Wano, because all of Wano is going to witness the downfall of Kaido. This is just another way of doing that. Plus, it opens up the door for somebody to get into Onigashima. The only one I think left that could appear is Hiyori, and I give my reasons to why. It makes the most sense. And there's a line in this chapter with one of the subordinates saying, "Oh, it's not going to fall, is it?" So the implication that Kaido would drop this. So that could be something that happens. We'll have to wait and see. I do also find it interesting, though, we don't see Kaido, and most importantly, we don't see the scabbards. And I think the reason's kind of obvious to me now. Oda's not going to show what happened to the scabbards until Luffy or Big Mom makes it up to the top of the Skull Dome. We know Big Mom's heading there to confront Kaido for whatever reason. We know Luffy's definitely up there. In fact, it looks like he's on the 5th floor by the end of this chapter. We don't really know. He's definitely on his way solo right now, which kind of goes back against the theory that all the Straw Hats are going to be on top of the Onigashima by chapter 1000. It could be possible by the end of the arc with the final battle taking place, but right now it looks like most of the Straw Hats are tied with the Tobbi Robbo. And they also mentioned that Marco's here, but whose side is he on? But then we find out quickly because Marco's like trying to cure up Chopper with his flames. Zoro, not knowing anything about Marco, they attack because they get pissed off because it looks like he's attacking Chopper. Chopper's freaking out. It's a funny situation, but also confusing. And if you look at it closely, like Marco's just jumping up, hovering above them too. It looks like Brook and Zoro fighting each other. I can find it ironic that Robin, we didn't get a panel of Robin because I think she would have known about this, but asking Chopper, hey, it doesn't burn, it's not hot, right? And Chopper's like, yeah, I'm on fire, but it doesn't burn. So that's the power of Marco. And Chopper pretty much confirms that the flames are just the right temperature to suppress these viruses. But as we find out later on in this chapter, Marco's going on with Zoro, Brook, and Robin. So that'd be way too convenient. Chopper needs to be there to cure the masses when it comes to like the samurai and the enemy. Because that's what Chopper stated in the previous chapter. He was going to cure enemies and allies. Even though Queen is trying to like plant into the father's minds from the Beast Pirates, like, oh, he's not going to do that. So you may as well just go after him. Miyagi and Tristan, the two Dr. Minks from Zoe, they show up. So that was pretty cool. So they have antibodies as well. So it's not just going to be Chopper to cure these people. So that's cool. I hope Chopper gets a fight though, because it looks like the only person that can fight Chopper right now is Queen. So unless somebody else shows up, I don't know who's going to take on Chopper. It looks like Chopper's going to be the one to stay there because he has the antibodies. So, and then the possessed demons, they try to attack Tristan, Miyagi, and Chopper. In comes Marco with the flames, puts a stop to that shit. Queen gets pissed off, which is a complete turnaround because he's the one that introduced this stupid game to begin with. So now it's backfiring. So we have Scratch Malapoo show up back because he knows he's screwed with that. He's like, hey, I need that back, otherwise I'm screwed. So I do like the fact that Apu is back up after Zoro's attack, but he gets chewed on by X-Drake. I find it interesting. Marco says, I got this covered, but if you want to go up, I can give you a ride. Panel of Brook, Robin, and Zoro. And it's like, I can give you a lift. So they're gonna, looks like they're gonna board Air Marco. I'm caught by X-Drake. X-Drake is like, yo, if you trust me as an ally, go on ahead. I got this. Go on. So it looks like we're gonna get the fanfic of Zoro riding on Marco, going up, making their way up to Kaido. So that's gonna be pretty beastly. We go over to the 4th floor inside the castle with Luffy and Jinbei. Jinbei's bringing up Sanji going off on his own. And I guess Jinbei doesn't realize the perverted ways of Sanji because it's like, I guess Sanji sensed the presence of a strong enemy and decided to go off on his own. And he's putting a stop to him on the 3rd floor. So Sanji's a floor below them. So again, this is another way of Oda getting Sanji away from the group because he's going to be having a 1v1 alongside Zoro. Although I do find it's kind of a disappointment that Sanji doesn't. Like, Luffy's like, oh, I see my observation Haki needs skills. Like, I think this chapter kind of confirms this. Sanji's observation Haki is far above Luffy's because Sanji sent that shit from another room. Like, so which Luffy could not do. And I'm curious if Captain Cuddy can do that. I don't think we've seen that. If he has, it's very brief. But says he needs his future sight observation Haki needs work. So that just puts over the perspective of Sanji's observation Haki. He's able to sense a woman's troubles, even though it's a complete trap. Just goes to show you that it's still a compliment for Sanji. The problem was he just got played. That's it. So, but Jinbei's like, Luffy, go on your own, I'll create an opening. And we find out the reason why that is because he gets confronted by Who's Who. And so being Jinbei's getting a 1v1 versus Who's Who, which I honestly thought Jinbei would be the one to fight Sasaki because he was a fishman. But it looks like that's good. Sasaki's going to be left to Frankie, which I'm not against. I said that I think it's a cool fight. As long as it forces the Straw Hats to get either a power-up or to go all out, I'm for it. So go over to, I guess, the left brain tower central passage of the dome. That's where Frankie and Sasaki are battling right now. And Frankie fires a general launcher. And it looks like he tanks it, but at the same time, Sasaki's going into his zone form, ancient zone form, and fires back at Frankie. And we get the reveal that Sasaki is in fact a Triceratops. He's an ancient zone type Triceratops, so that's pretty cool. Good. I hope it's on the same level, if not greater, than his fight with Senor Pink, because that was Frankie's best fight to date in One Piece. So this could be a fight above that because I expect Sasaki to be stronger than Senor Pink. So he could be the one to push Frankie, and this could be an epic fight on that scale, I hope. While Sanji's running from, I guess, that teacher snake that was confirmed, I guess it was her, because you see her neck extending, she's chasing after Sanji, just like she was extending her neck when she was talking to the kids back in the Flower Capital, where she was spewing all that propaganda about Orochi and how much of a criminal Odin was. It's the same woman, but Sanji's still cuffed, or he's still tied with the web. I don't know why he doesn't use Hell's Memories or his fire to get rid of them. There's somewhere else I need to be, but the problem is he's confronted by a load of women, and that's a problem for Sanji because he can't fight back. So I think this chapter confirms that he's not fighting Black Maria. Sanji just states that you love struck right, and we get to find Black Maria she's a Zoan type spider, devil fruit user. But if you look at her appearance, like only a lower half has changed, like her upper half, she's like upside down like a spider, but the face of a spider is on her abdomen. So that's kind of disturbing. But that's obviously not a full transformation. So my question is Oda saving that transformation for something else? Like, because it's the Tobbi Robbo, we saw the full modes in the Zoan form, with the exception of Black Mario. So I feel like Oda's doing that for a reason. It is disturbing because you got the face of the eyes of a spider and you got the mouth on their abdomen. But if you look at it, it's drooling over it, which is what a lot of fans of Black Mario would do. Not gonna lie, but it is disturbing. I think Oda is saving her full form for something else, for a 1v1, and the only thing that makes sense right now is Robin, because I think this chapter confirmed Usopp's going to fight Page 1, Nami's going to fight Ulti, so who's Black Mario going to go to? Sanji's not going to fight her, so who? I hate to keep harping on this, but it's the only thing that makes sense right now. They are going up, it looks like, because I don't see them staying on the same floor with Chopper, unless Brook decides to stay back with them. Well, I think Zoro and Robin are going to move up with Marco. So, and Robin's probably going to bump into them at some point. So it makes the most sense right now. It would be kind of cool if Robin shows up and uses Milk Floor to take care of the father and stares down Black Mario. I hope that's what happens, but yeah, right now it doesn't look good for Sanji. He could use his Hell's Memories, like I said, to get himself out of there if he wants to. So it is kind of disappointing, but like I said, it's not that big of a deal, because I feel like this arc isn't over, and I still think Sanji is going to get his moment to shine, whether or not it's with Queen or whether or not it's before the end of the arc, because it's going to come up to a point where Sanji not only gets the power up, but he also accepts the German heritage. He may not like it, but he's got to accept it, and that's going to trigger a power up. I hope, though, when Sanji does get that power up, it's not with the raid suit. I think it's got to come from Sanji himself. Holding on to hope, that's what's going to happen. Zoro doesn't really need a power up. He needs a full-fledged fight to showcase what he can do, because we haven't seen that post-time skip. Base opponent, who's who, the Flying Six, and the only thing we can find out, number one, who's who is a saber-toothed tiger, so, which is pretty cool. And I always thought who's who out of the bunch was Oda kept his appearance and his pretty much identity a secret, because we didn't see a whole lot from who's who. We suspected he was the strongest one. And Black Mario was another one we didn't know a whole lot about, Jinbei. And we also find out they did have some type of interaction in the past, because who's like to Jinbei, I remember you back when you were a warlord, but Jinbei doesn't recognize him because he's in his Zoan type form. Only 1v1s we have right now, in terms of like perspective, with the Straw Hats versus the Tobbi Robbo. The others aren't set yet, but you can kind of tell where it's going to go, especially with Ulti and Page 1 on the Rampage. They're in the Dino forms as well, other than the fact they're taking care of Samurai Fodder. And Ulti's like, Page 1's like, where did those cars go off to? And Ulti's like, I'm going to make sure I crack her head in half. So she wants to headbutt Nami again. I'm glad that's not getting left unresolved, because like I said before, Nami has to beat her to solidify the fact of what she said, that Luffy will become king of the pirates. She needs to prove that in a fight, in her actions, now that she said that. End the chapter with probably one of the biggest reveals we've gotten. We have Yamato talking with Momonosuke. They're in a special room with a statue of a dragon in the background. We find out it's broken because somebody broke it. We find out who that is. It's been abandoned, so they won't be discovered, apparently. But I feel like they're gonna get found out. A friend of Yamato ended up breaking the statue of the dragon after he ended up coming a few years ago to kill my father. And we find out in the background that's nothing an Ace, which we know they had interactions, because the moment when she got introduced, we found out what her appearance was. We found out that she had interactions with Ace, and now we know that we're actually friends. So like I said, back then, Ace made friends with Otama, and it made friends with Yamato as well. So that's pretty cool. And the big revelation, though, is the fact that Ace came to fight Kaido and to kill Kaido. We're going to find out what happened with Kaido and Ace. So that could be epic in its own right. And I guess we're going to find out the interactions with Ace and Yamato. And if anything else, the parallels continue. Yamato and Ace, Yamato and Luffy. And the fact that Ace had to fight Kaido as well. Now, the parallels are there with Luffy about to fight Kaido. He's already done it, but now he's going to fight Kaido on a much bigger scale. The thing I think is going to get swept over a lot of people's heads, though, is the fact that she mentioned that he came to kill my father. I don't know if Yamato has mentioned this off screen to Momonosuke and Shinobu for this, but we don't really know what's been said about that already. But the reason I'm pointing this out is because I mentioned this a while back when she first interacted with Momonosuke. I said in that review, there needed to become a point where Momonosuke learns, or Yamato tells Momonosuke, hey, Kaido's my father, and Shinobu's there as well, and I don't know if she's conscious right now, but if she hears this, I'm pretty sure Shinobu's going to be distrustful of Yamato because of the fact that Kaido's her dad. So obviously there's going to be resentment towards that, but I think ultimately the moment's going to come from Momonosuke where he kind of accepts Yamato because Yamato is not like Kaido at all. I said that moment needed to come because if Yamato is going to be accepted by Luffy and become somewhat of a Nakama, then she needs to be accepted by allies of Luffy as well. Momonosuke, one of the biggest allies for Luffy. And if she's going to become a retainer, this needed to happen. Like, there could be a point where Yamato becomes a retainer for Momonosuke, and there's also a possibility that Yamato could go with Luffy to complete Oden's journey because when Oden, Roger, and the Roger Pirates went to find the One Piece, it wasn't time yet. It wasn't their time. So I feel like if Yamato's going to be the spirit of Oden, it makes sense. I don't know if she's going to become a Nakama. I think that's pushing it, considering the fact we just got Jinmei established in the crew. But she can definitely become an ally and tag along. We'll have to wait and see. But again, this needed to happen. This needs to be stated. And it's crazy to think after this, we're one chapter away from 1,000. So I thought it was a very informative chapter with a very big reveal. And like I said, it was set up for what's to come with the Tobbi, Robbo, and the Straw Hats. But the big reveal at the end is what made this chapter with Ace apparently looking to kill Kaido. So I guess we're going to find out if it was a real full-scale fight or if it actually didn't take place. We know Ace's legacy. We know he interacted with Tama. We now know he was friends with Yamato in Wano. I didn't think any of us knew that he actually challenged Kaido or tried to kill Kaido. Emphasis on tried to kill Kaido. So I'm wondering during the fight if Luffy uses Red Hawk, it's going to trigger Kaido about Ace. Like, oh, you remind me of Fire Fist Ace when he tried to show up and take me on. I guarantee that could happen. So let me know what you guys think down below. I thought it was a great chapter. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. Hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that. Helps out the channel with its reviews. Subscribe to more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.